Hey YouTube, this is Sensation reporting in for another review. Today we've got an Intermountain Southern Pacific, an Intermountain Railway Company, Southern Pacific 4882 AC-12 cab forward. This one is number 4276. It's an HO scale. It's got sound. It has the standard Tsunami 1 sound. Eventually, I will be having it with the Tsunami 2. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this locomotive up here. Alright, so now that I've got the locomotive out of the box, as you can tell, it is definitely an all-black locomotive. They had 12 other versions of the cab forward, or of the AC series for the Southern Pacific. These are basically Yellowstones, if you remember. I don't think I've done a video of Yellowstone. Anyway, so this is a 4882 locomotive with a 6-axle tender on it. It's an oil-burning locomotive. The reason why they designed this locomotive was for better safety for the conductor and engineer in the front of the locomotive, because on a regular steam engine, the smokestack is usually here, and the cab is usually back here. So this is designed so they have better visibility, thus naming it a cab forward. So there are other designs. This is the 12th design of the AC-12, thus being the AC-12 locomotive. What I like about this model is it's different than every other locomotive that's out there. With a lot of diesels, and for showing purposes, I'll just use 6920. The cab is in the front for better visibility. But, as we all know, with NS, they will run a locomotive with the cab in the back, because why not? It's NS. So, that's what they do. So anyway, with this Intermountain cab forward, unlike all the other articulated steam locomotives that I have on my layout, the Intermountain cab forward only has one basic, articulation drive set. The other drive set is, in fact, attached to the frame and is rigid, so it does not articulate. The only one that articulates is the back part. Is the rear set of drivers. So this locomotive can really only go around a 26-inch radius. I would recommend doing that, at least a 26-inch radius, if not wider, only because it looks better on a wider radius, and because, as I said, these drivers don't articulate, so tight turns are going to be a problem for this locomotive. Intermountain has done an excellent job with that. All of my other articulated locomotives, both set of drivers articulate, but that's so they can go around a tighter radius corner, like a 20 or an 18 in some cases. So more about this Intermountain cab forward. So this, I don't remember which version this is. I'm not entirely certain, but I believe it is the second run, which is the better run, but I'm not entirely sure. The lights on it, they're obviously orange all the way around. I'll turn them on so you guys can see. They're all orange. So eventually I'm going to have a friend of mine redo it and make them all white, because I just prefer white headlights and number boards that just look better. There is a rear light on the back of the tender, so we'll just swing around here. Look at the back of the tender now, and we can see it's another orange light in the back of the tender. Bit of a different view from this side, as you can tell. It looks like a regular, I guess it would be a Yellowstone or M4 for the B&O Railroad. It basically is exactly what it is. It's still the same. It's just the whole locomotive is pretty much turned around with the tender attached to the front instead of the back. So, I mean, technically on every other steam engine, that's the front and that's the back, and it's just the other way around. So it's kind of a different locomotive completely altogether, and it behaves a lot differently. Let's go back up to the front here. So now I'm going to go ahead and turn the sounds on so you guys can hear them. I have it muted for right now because obviously as soon as it touched power with a Tsunami soundboard, as soon as it got power, it powered on the sound as well. So F8 releases the mute, and now we just hear the idling sequence. Anyway, let's hear the bell. And then the whistle. No short whistle on the Intermountain one, which is kind of unlike soundtracks to not have a short whistle. The detail on this locomotive is actually pretty good too. When I bought this engine, I bought it because it was a cab forward as an Intermountain, and I've been wanting another Intermountain cab forward for a while because I sold my other one, which was a mistake, and I've been wanting another one ever since. So I finally decided to get one to add to my 11 steam locomotives that I already have. So this it really is highly detailed. I mean, it's kind of hard to see on the camera as to what all the details are, but if we get down here, you can see just along everything, and I'll just try to get as close as I can to the locomotive with the camera. I mean, it is just, there are details everywhere on this locomotive. Let me try to autofocus it. I mean, everywhere you look, there's another detail. It's just more details than ever. I mean, even when it comes to these little flaps, they all open up. So that's just more detail. I mean, that's, it's insane to see the amount of detail that Intermountain has put into this locomotive. On top of the cab, the roof hatch opens up and you can close it. I keep it closed because, well, I want my engineers to suffer. So, I don't really know much about the soundtracks decoder in this locomotive. I haven't had much time to get acquainted with it yet, but the main two functions that you're going to want to use, which are the bell and the whistle, are obviously there, and you've obviously heard them before. I'm not entirely certain that that's the whistle for the cab forward. I don't know if it had a high-pitched whistle or a low whistle. I think all of them varied. This locomotive is going to be getting lock sound or Tsunami 2 in it. Just because I think lock sound, I like lock sound, I like their diesel sound, but I like Tsunami 2's sound for steam. But, then again, I have, most of my engines are Proto Sound 3 with MTH. This is my second locomotive with Tsunami sound. I have 844 with Tsunami sound as well. So, anyway, let's go ahead and, let's see what she sounds like when she's moving. So we're in forward. And then here's backwards. Not a bad locomotive, if you ask me. It's actually a pretty decent locomotive. It runs actually really smooth. Here's speed step 1 on 128. So as you can kind of see on speed step 1, it doesn't do all the chuffing. Which is kind of a mistake on Soundtrack's part. I'm not entirely certain this locomotive actually has a gear for it, for the chuff gear. Although maybe when I switch it to Tsunami 2, it'll sound better. So I'm hoping that when I switch it to Tsunami 2, it's going to sound quite a lot different than what it sounds like now. So yeah, so that's it for this review. I don't have a train for it to pull right now. I'm working on my main. So anyway, till the next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.